Monday morning, May 5th, 2025. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hey, everyone. Welcome to a fresh Monday morning, your first act of the week. Mike Mili here, along with my incredible writing partners, Rich Cotieri and Scott Graham. We're the team behind Words to Film By, the book, the workshop, the .com, the screenwriting and storytelling system that we hope you all come to love and know. Every Monday is a chance to hit the reset button, to look at our creative goals with fresh eyes and a sense of renewed purpose. We pour our hearts and souls and into our storytelling. And whether it's for the big screen, a marketing campaign, a graphic novel, a novel, um, w- you know, we share our experiences with the written word and our stories. And that's what we're all about at Words to Film By, helping you tell your story effectively with power and in a way that connects with your audience. Learning those skills to be able to do that. Our system is designed to give you a clear path through an often daunting process of taking an idea and turning it into a compelling story and screenplay, eventually a movie, of something visual. This week we were thinking about how can we best help you with your storytelling issues and challenges right now. The landscape of how we create and consume stories is always changing, and sometimes it feels like a new hurdle pops up every day for us storytellers and content creators. Maybe you're struggling, with your initial idea, getting it down on paper, putting it to the keyboard, putting it to your paper. You know, maybe you've got a great concept, but you're stuck on structuring it so it has a maximum impact. Are you finding it hard to develop characters that feel real and resonate with people, or maybe you're struggling and wrestling with creating dialogue that sounds natural instead of robotic and clunky? Sometimes I sound clunky, sometimes I do sound robotic, but is does that work for the scene, and is that the way you want to say it? Is that how that it's going to make that character sound real? These are all challenges that we all face. Believe me, I've been there. We all have. We see these issues come up constantly in our workshops and with writers and filmmakers that we work with. Frankly, with the rise of AI in our field, it's adding a whole new level of questions with stress, that are coming up every day. You see the headlines: AI writing scripts, generating visuals, even helping with pre-production. All 7 stages of production, AI is going to be involved in. Just recently, you might have seen a story about some filmmakers that are experimenting with AI for de-aging actors, much like they did in The Irishman, except they use CGI for that. They place the dots on the faces, and Val Pacino and Robert De Niro, and they put a digital mask on them so that you could think that they were younger at the time. These are 80-year-old men, and they made them look young. But there's a lot of money and a lot of work to create those CGI digital masks, and it's expensive. There are also stories about AI being fed thousands of scripts, general scripts, just to identify patterns and even generate dialogue or plot points. It's going to happen. It is happening, and how do you keep your voice while it does? Regardless, it's fascinating, and it's really exciting. Maybe it's a little intimidating for some. This new world. It brings up questions like, will AI replace human writers? Will it replace me? Or how can I use these tools without losing my own unique writer's voice? I mean, I don't want to give that up, nor do you. You know, Learning these to use these tools, from where we stand at Words of Film By in our system, we see AI not as a replacement for us storytellers, but as a powerful tool, a real powerful tool, one that still requires a set of skills. You know, if you have those set of skills, those screenwriting skills and the storytelling skills, you'll be able to wield them effectively. Think about it. AI can analyze data. It can generate text based on patterns, but can it truly understand the human condition? Can it pull from our lifetime of unique experiences, emotions, and observations that come from our heart, from our genuine heart and soul? Maybe, I mean, maybe if you've trained your AI, your collaborative AI assistant, to understand your writing style and your thoughts, and you fed it exact information about you because you're telling your story. You're not asking it to tell you the story. But if you fed it that, you know, you know, would it be able to do it? I mean, that's how I work with my writing partner, Rich. He gets me after 25 years. He can we can second think each other. I mean, we don't always agree on everything, but we throw suggestions. We're pretty much on the same page. We can write as one if we have to. We both have our own unique voices, but we can write in our style together, and the flow is is so intelligent and it's not artificial, but it's us. So, believe me, I believe in the human element, that unique spark, that God-given spark that you bring, that you always have in you when you're telling your story. You know, that's irreplaceable. That's never going to change. There are certain human emotions that us storytellers love to share. I mean, it comes from our heart, flows out of our fingertips and onto digital pulp, audio, visual, whatever, in our storytelling methods. But it flows out of our fingers and onto the written or visual page. Those events that we write about, they that that evokes our humanity, that evokes our emotion, that those emotions and feelings make us uniquely human. We bleed, we cry, we love, we laugh, we hate, we forgive, we hold grudges, we let things go sometimes, and then we act improperly, and then we ask for forgiveness, and sometimes we even sacrifice all for the sake of a stranger and lose everything in the process. Sometimes we don't, and we have to live with that guilt and with that regret that we didn't try, we didn't act on it. We deal with loss, we deal with death, loneliness, sadness. That sits, that sadness that sits there and festers. We let that come out of our hands and onto the paper. We write about the euphoric joy of our child's birth. Our friends, when we watch our friends winning an award, coming home from war, surviving a horrible situation, you know, surviving a disease, suffering from a disease, even passing away from a long illness, and now their pain is gone and they are free. We write about that. For me this week, I watched I watched one of my children graduate the University of Michigan. It was amazing. I mean, it's a goal he had since he was a 3-year-old boy. I asked him, why U of M? I had asked him that before, and he said he, when he was 3, he thought the color of blue, he loved it, and he wanted to be a part of that. Later, he worked his butt off and got in there, and yesterday he graduated. Um, it was amazing, and we got to hear Tim Cook from Apple speak. Uh, Derek Jeter, both of them brought up about AI. Tim Cook said, um, how amazing it was over the past 40 years to be a part of watching, Apple grow. He was a computer science engineer, but he was in marketing, and he goes, why was I in marketing? It's because he knew his products and he knew how to tell the story about the products. And he goes, it's exciting watching AI coming right now too, and where that's going to go. So it was amazing. My oldest, I watched him when he was 5. He took and drew pictures on paper bags, lunch bags, and he put on a suit and knocked on doors and sold paper lunch bags. I mean, we freaked out. Where is he? And then we found him selling. He made a lot of money for a 5-year-old boy going and doing that. But he told the story through those little bags and sold a product. He grew up, raised a family. He got a wonderful job, and he's had a wonderful life. It's amazing with all my kids and my family, you know, watching their amazing paths, my family, my battles, my wars, my wins, and even my losses, my life, my blood, and even my DNA. That is what makes me uniquely human. That's in each and every one of us, and in each of our stories. I know in mine, in my tales, my stories, my screenplays, my books, and even my hand drawn cartoon Tasso. I do it digitally, but I also do it by hand. And there's no greater joy for me is than to draw a little cartoon, and tell a little funny story. I do it for all my family members. I draw a little cartoon on any event, any Christmas card or birthday. I always put it on there, and they always get a kick out of it. My stories are my stories. Artificial intelligence isn't going to take that away. I mean, my stories are my stories. AI will help me to complete those stories, will help me, with the many mundane tasks that we have to do just to get to the goal quicker, to help me. It will help me stop abusing the comma if I agree. I do abuse the comma. That would have made my English teacher, Mr. Rashid, very happy. I got yelled for that all the time. Uh, now, with our Words to Film by system, we focus on foundational principles of storytelling, the core element that connects with your audience on a deep human level, regardless of the technology you use to bring your story to life. Understanding structure, development, compelling characters, and crafting meaningful themes, these are skills that become even more valuable in a world where AI can handle some of the more repetitious tasks, just like the simplicity of screenwriting software. uh, you know, what it brought to the table. I mean, not having to worry about, are my margins right? Am I going to get rejected by a reader because it's not uniform? Was I off a little bit? The scene headings, the characters, the dialogue, the presets that you don't have to think about anymore. Now you can just concentrate on your story. That was an amazing thing that came. It was so much easier than a typewriter or even a word processor because you didn't have to set those margins. It was already built in. I mean, it's like you start typing a character and boom, there it is. You write B and Bob shows up. You write R and the Robert shows up. You write L and Linda shows up. So in that tab over. That to me, that's still amazing. Is that artificial intelligence? No, it's built in functions that get you there. And that's the same thing with AI. AI will help you, you know, take care of some of the main things. Bottom line is AI is a tool. So, getting back to our question for the week, how can we help you this week? How can we help you? With your story. Are you struggling with the finding your story's core conflict? Are you unsure of how to raise the stakes for your protagonist? Do you need help figuring out your target audience and how to tailor your message in a more effective way? What whatever your storytelling issue or your challenge is, big or small, we want to hear about it. The Words to Film by community is there. It's strongest when we share and learn from each other. So here's my challenge to you this week. All right, check it out. Take one specific storytelling challenge that you're facing right now. Just one. Maybe it's a scene that isn't working, a character who feels flat, or an idea that just won't take shape. Identify that one thing. Then please reach out to us. Whichever platform you're watching this on, subscribe, leave a comment below, or send us a message to the website, thewordstofilmby.com. And they'll have all the links to everything, or connect with us on social media. Tell us about your challenge. Tell us what you're going through. And say it to anybody from the community too that wants to reach out and talk about it and help you through that. It's free. Join the Words to Film by community. It's absolutely free, and you can come in there and hey, what is it? They always say Plumbers with other plumbers talk about plumbers' issues. Well, here it is: screenwriters, storytellers, content creators, marketers, all talking about storytelling in one area and saying, "Hey, listen, I have this problem. I'm trying to figure it out. We're there for you. The community's there for you. We'll be looking, listening, and thinking about how we can help you. You know, the principles we teach in Words to Film by can help you overcome all those things. Let's tackle these challenges together using the timeless, timeless principles of storytelling and embracing the new tools available to us. I am really looking forward to hearing from all of you. All of us are. Scott and Rich are both looking forward to hear from you. You know, let's help you make your story shine. I want you guys to have a fantastic week. Your first act, I hope it comes out good this week. You get to start a new one next. Remember, everyone has a story. Let us help you tell yours. And you start here. On behalf of Rich Cotieri, Scott Graham, and myself, enjoy your first act of the week. And we'll looking forward to seeing from you, hearing from you. Have a good one, guys.